Hey everybody, this is Steve from Tech and Speak again, here today to talk this time about a common video intercom question we get asked as part of our design services, and that simply being, at what height should I mount my intercom so I can best see the most amount of people through my little video camera? And this is actually a fairly easy question to answer, as long as you remember some of your trigonometry back from high school or college or wherever you learned it. So if you really look at this problem closely, you can see that what you need to compute in terms of your maximum and minimum viewing height is in fact a right triangle calculation. So that's what we've done here. We've broken this down into two back-to-back right triangles for our max and our min viewing distance. And now we have to kind of step back and take a look at the information that we're given in order to solve this little problem. So we have to start somewhere as far as the mounting height. So in our particular example, we start at 5 feet. No reason to pick that other than just at random. Seems like a good general height. We don't really know if it will be or not until the end of the problem. But for now, that's what we're going to pick. And then as it turns out, I'm naming a specific angle. This is actually a specific job over in Venice that we worked on. Venice, California, that is. And in this particular example, the distance between the edge of the camera and where the typical person would most likely stand after they pushed the button was about 2 feet. So then the video intercom that we're using had a 80-degree field of view. That is actually from the manual of the camera itself. If you use a different video intercom and has a different field of view, obviously you would plug that into this particular area. And so we have our 3 pieces of information that we will now use to solve this problem. So, as I mentioned before, a good way to think about this problem is 2 right angles back to back, right triangles back to back, each one with the right angle right here. We talked about before that our camera angle for our total field of view is 80 degrees. So if we split that up into the 2 triangles, that is going to be 40 degrees for each triangle, which, as it turns out, that actually is our angle theta that we'll be using a little bit later on. And then from there, we can calculate the third angle of this triangle as 50 degrees because all triangles have a total of 180 degrees inside them. So right here is the actual distance that we need to compute. This is actually going to be our opposite side of our triangle, designated by the little O. H is for our hypotenuse. And A, which is what we were given, this distance right here, is our adjacent side of 2 feet. So if we harken back to our trigonometry days, there's probably a little acronym that you were asked to repeat over and over again called SOHCAHTOA. These are actually our formulas for computing sides and angles of a right triangle. This is our sine, cosine, and tangent formulas. In this particular case, if we compute our cosine of our angle theta, we are actually able to determine from that formula that our hypotenuse is roughly about 2.6 feet. And that is also going to be 2.6 feet. So from there, we use another formula for right triangles called Pythagorean's theorem. And using Pythagorean's theorem, we're able to determine that this distance here is 1.7 feet. Now, this isn't a class on trigonometry, so I'm not going to really go into these formulas too much, but once again, we're using the cosine formula as well as the Pythagorean's formula to solve this question. So, as you see here, this gives us plus or minus 1.7 feet. As I mentioned before in the beginning of this problem, we're starting out at 5 feet for our distance from the ground, so that's going to give us a total max and min viewing of 6.7 feet to 3.3 feet. So anybody who stands 2 feet away from that platform within this range, we will be able to see. So in this particular case, for this client, this actually ended up working out great. They really didn't know anybody or expect anybody that was going to be over 6 feet tall. So they said, leave it at 5 feet, we're good to go. Obviously, if you have a client that is a basketball player, let's say, this wouldn't work and we would need to move this camera up, which would be okay because going all the way down to 3.3 feet, unless you are have small person as clients, or one of your friends is going to let their 5-year-old come knock on your door unassisted without an adult, this is a little bit low for most folks and can be raised without really sacrificing too much. So anyway, in this particular case, both the builder and the owner were very happy with this answer. This project is actually already done, and as it turns out, we were able to do this exact, see this exact max and min as we specified, and they're a very happy client. So once again, my name is Steve, and on behalf of all of us in TechnoSpeak, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Thank you for listening to us, and we'll see you next time.